Hello crafty friends, this week I'll show some of my old favourite knits. I'll give you a status update on my current knitting and I'll keep talking about colour choices for this Ferrell vest I want to knit. So let's get into it. Hello, welcome. It's time for another episode of Hanging On by a Thread podcast. My name is Silja and this is my space where I talk about the crafty things I do or don't do or think about during a week. This is now episode 24, so I'm getting some traction with this thing. So thank you all for taking some of your time and watching what I put out there. It is a lot of fun. I mean, it's exciting to me that, yesterday I hit 200 subscribers. So wow, thank you for that. I know it seems like pickles compared to all these YouTubers that are out there that have thousands. But really, I'm just so pleased that there is that many people that want to hear me talk about my knitting every week, and it makes me feel really appreciated, so thank you for that. If you're new here, then of course you're welcome to subscribe. Click the button thingy. And yeah, this week I haven't done a lot of knitting, but as you all know, being a crafter isn't all about what you manage to produce in 1 week. There's a lot of thinking about what you're gonna do when you do have the time to do it. So yeah, the usual order of things in this podcast is that first I will talk about what I am wearing, if I am wearing anything. Usually I do wear clothes, and usually knitwear. After I've rambled on a little bit about what I'm wearing today, I'll briefly talk about the status of my current whip. So today, for what I'm wearing, I'll be talking about some old favorites. As you can see, I am wearing 2 pieces of knitwear today. I'm wearing a scarf and a cardigan, because today is a thoroughly dreary day. It is overcast and raining and yeah, summer rain, I guess. We have been promised sun and 25 degrees starting tomorrow and for a week. Let's hope that happens, because it would be nice to hang outside with the kids a little bit. But for now, I'm happy bundling up in some of my old favorite knits. I thought I could talk about this because it is something that I knit very long time ago. And it's one of those cardigans that it's not at all perfect. It's a bit wonky. It's starting to get a bit tattered and old, but when the day is kind of crap, it's the one you grab to just bundle up in and stay at home, which is my plan for today. I only put makeup on because I'm talking to the camera. So this is the Morganite Cardigan, and it is by, such a long time ago, I had to write this down. Morganite Cardigan, I am wearing the, yes, by Corrina Ferguson. This was published in Pom Pom Quarterly magazine. I think it was the first Pom Pom that I ever bought. So it's this one. And it was all about cables and textures. And the Morganite is on the back here. That's the pattern I tried to recreate. It's from 2013. So it's starting to be a while now. My first. And I made quite a lot of the patterns in this booklet. Yeah, I did. But the first thing I did was the Morganite. That's a lovely pattern. And I had just recently picked back up knitting, and I was getting to that point where, you know, you're like, hey, I can do this now. No, I'm gonna, you know, wanted to start buying the fancy yarn and getting the cool magazine to knit the things that were inspiring. And yeah, I ordered way too much yarn for this cardigan and became, yeah, I didn't have any idea what I was doing basically as far as sizing was concerned. And as you can see, I put that I should knit the size 3. I'm not sharing any secrets here. This is just the sizing. That information is available on the online as well, what you need. So yeah, I made this entirely too big. No, it's not too big. It's supposed to be an oversized comfy one. I did make some mistakes. I'm pretty sure I didn't do some sort of decrease thing here, so the whole shaping of the front is wrong. This is never getting knitted. It's too tight. It's supposed to be down here. I think I just didn't do the neckline decreases. Yeah, I think that's what I didn't do. I didn't do some sort of decrease around the neckline because of this whole lace pattern was just blowing my mind, and I was struggling to make that look decent, and then they asked me to do something else at the same time, and I remember I was just like, nah, I'm just doing the raglan decreases until it's kind of over my shoulders, and then I'm going to do neckband, and that's it. This was knitted flat, and it's pretty even, lots of, and I had bought some hand-dyed yarn from Eden Cottage Yarn. I think this is BFL, so it's also the first time I knitted with blue faced Leicester yarn. This is BFL Bowl and DK, I think it's called, with Eden Cottage, and it's a Misty Forest colorway, I think. And it came when it arrived. I had ordered like 700 gram skeins because I had no idea how much I was gonna use. I think I used almost 5 skeins for this oversized pullover cardigan, and still my sleeves are like, the sleeves are a bit long, but I roll them up anyways, and they're a bit wide. Is well worn. So they're probably wide also because I roll them up, and I have been wearing it like this. As I've told you before, I need my wrists to be free for some reason. Yeah, so it's my go-to rainy day cardigan, and I figured I could mention that and bring out an old favorite magazine. I've made so many things from this first magazine. I made this one, the quadrillion. I did that immediately after. It's a pattern by Megan Fernandez, and I made mine in red. I could bring it sometime. That's also something that's been worn to bits. It doesn't look it's not looking great, but the cables are still awesome, and there was so much moss stitch on that sweater. I figured out I do not like moss stitch. I also made this vermeil scarf, and yes, it is as long as that. I made it incredibly long. I made this over a couple of years. I did it in a similar color as well. Was there anything else from this? I think those were the main things from this booklet that I made. So this is the Autumn 2013 pom-pom. I think you can still get like the digital versions and all the patterns for sure. You can get them, buying them directly from the designers on Ravelry or wherever the designers are posting their patterns. And this scarf is from summer 2014 of pom-pom. This beauty here also has a lot of nice patterns, and it is the Emery scarf. And it's been worn in a very daring way. And I think my version is a bit narrower, I don't know. I knit mine in leftover skeins of Ansula Cricket DK from a Michelle Wong cable cardigan that I made in the same yarn, which turned out to be too big for me and too loose, like it didn't sit right on me, so it's been gifted to my mom. She gets a lot of the good stuff and it's a beautiful cardigan. I keep meaning to knit that again, but not good at repeating patterns. So this one, and it's just, you start at one end, and since I had 2 skeins, I figured I just started and I made my way until I'd finished 1 skein, and I decided when that's finished I'll start the decreasing. So I used more or less exactly all of the, or both skeins. So I like that you could just not, I mean, you follow the pattern and everything, but once 1 skein was done, that was the midpoint, and then just, you know, you have exactly the right amount of yarn left because you're starting the decreases with the 2nd skein. So pro tip there for you guys. Yeah, that did I say who this pattern was from? No, the Emery scarf is by Shannon Cook. So Emery scarf and the Morganite cardigan, both from Pom Pom magazine way back when. So that's it for what I was wearing. Oh, you know guys, I had forgotten. I have a finished object to talk about. But I forgot about it because I don't have it here. But past Celia did record a little bit about it. So I finished my small flowers mitts and I gifted them to my mother. I have a finished pair of mitts. I'm quickly recording this before I go to gift them to my mom for her birthday. Her birthday was on Wednesday last week, and it is now Saturday, and we're getting ready to go have dinner with them. So yesterday I washed and blocked these. They're now dry, and I think they turned out pretty well. Let's see. As usual, the first mitt is slightly looser. The second one is neater, so I'll show you that first. See if that focuses. There you go. So I've used, the purple is Rauma Finull, and then there's an assortment of leftovers for the blue flowers and the green of the feral pattern. So as you can see here, I chose slightly different colors than what I showed you guys last week. The blue is the same, the mid blue. That is the FjordFibres one. And I went for a bit of dark blue Atlantic spindrift for the dark blue. This is the FjordFibres hand-dyed. And my main colors here is the purple from Rauma, the white from Rauma as well, and some substantial leftover from my White Horse sweater, which is a hand-dyed by Verbit. This is Hillesvåg Vilje, I believe. No, this is the, it's not Vilja, this is her special mix. It was a, I don't think this quality yarn is to be gotten anymore. Don't remember the name of it, but well, the color is beautiful, and I still got a good 25 grams left of it, so there's to be used in various feral motifs, I think. So I really love how it looks with the purple. And yeah, these mitts, they are knit up exactly the same. They're mirrored, and it's very easy to knit on the DPNs. It's a free pattern. The pattern is Small Flower Mitts by Pinneguri, that wrote up the pattern in collaboration, or the design was by someone else, I don't remember. It says in the pattern. But I knit mine in my trusty DPNs, which is very convenient because you can have like a symmetrical number of stitches on your needles, and then it's very easy to keep track on your start and your edges, so that if you start, you have your start round there on one side, and on the opposite side, 2 needles, it's where the thumb goes. So they are perfectly symmetrical, and you just knit 2 the same, and they fit quite nicely, I think. I hope my mom will appreciate these. So this is the second one. It's a bit snugger, and I can feel like this is looser. I don't know if it's, I don't think it's noticeable. I'll tell her to use the bigger one on the right hand. The right hand tends to, well, your main hand tends to be slightly larger than the other anyways. So there you go. These are the Small Flowers Mitts, free pattern by Pinneguri. You can find it on Ravelry, I know. I'm pretty pleased with the results. I hope the recipient will be happy about them. I don't see why not. And yes, that's it. The Small Flowers Mitts. So my mum was thrilled about them. I told him that this is meant for you to wear when you are putting the seeds in the earth, you know, in springtime when it's cold down in the basement or whatever she's doing this now. And she's like, no, I can't wear, they're too pretty for that. I'm like, they're supposed to be worn, so if you just leave them in a drawer, then the point is gone. I mean, I can make more mitts if they're broken, or if they get so much worn that they fall apart, then fantastic. I don't remember what I was talking about. Did I talk about my Levenwik? I think I briefly started talking about the Levenwik cardigan. If I've spoken about this already, I have 2 choices. I can either edit this out and you won't have to listen to me ramble about it twice, or I didn't really talk about it in depth and I'll keep this rambling into the edit. Because why not? Filler content. Always worried that I'm not going to have enough content, but it ends up being half an hour plus anyways, doesn't it? Okay, so I did not finish. So I'm going to keep this brief. I am so close to finishing my sleeve. As you can see, I've done what I always do, is to just like, who is this person that leaves, like, the rule is if you're using double pointed needles, before you leave the knitting anywhere, you at least finish 1 needle so that the 5th one can kind of safely, whatever. My mental hang-ups, I guess, but when you have little babies that require your attention, all of a sudden you can't keep to your own mental good rules. and finish a needle before you, so you end up with this, and it just increases the likelihood of a needle sliding out and dropping. As you can see, my double pointed needles are usually bamboo needles, at least until 3mm, and below that I have steel ones. And I just like that they are lighter. They don't make as much noise. The noise isn't, it's a noise. The noise annoys me. Noise. And the bamboo ones, well, the bamboo ones are slightly lighter than like birch ones or any other wood, really. They're very strong, quite flexible, and I can sit on this quite a number of times before they break. Some of the wood ones, they're lovely texture, but because the way they're worked, you have the rings of the grain of the wood. It can split where the grain is. That's happened to a lot of my Knit Pro needles that are birch, I think. And the same for the ones that are laminated and then worked. The ones that are like multicolored, they're usually glued together, laminated, and then they're been worked or milled, or don't know what the word is. But the bamboo ones, they are just from one piece of bamboo, and you can see the grain just goes straight. See, you don't need to hold the hand behind, like I've seen YouTubers do this. You don't really need that. You just need to cover the eyes because the camera is tracking my face. He wants to find my face. But anyways, see there? The grain is like horizontal. Come on, stop looking at my face. Oh, okay. If you have bamboo needles, look at them. They're not going like this, the grain in them are straight. So they're not gonna split and break. Anyways, they're lightweight and they are grabby, so they don't easily slide out of. This is holding nicely onto the needle. That was a tangent on my knitting needles. For DPNs, I prefer bamboo ones. That's about the sum of it. I have some smaller, I'll show you that whenever I have those in a project. Okay. So I have finished that big motif. So I did manage to do a bit of knitting since the last time I spoke to you. Guys, I think I had reached the middle here, so I've done about this much in 1 week. I have had other things I wanted to do, basically, and there's been some knitting and I really want to get this done. But I haven't been knitting in the evenings as I usually do, because honestly it's because I've run out of stuff I want to watch on TV. I've got no movies that I'm like, I was having a run through all of the episodes of Game of Thrones. So I watched that back to back every evening, bam, 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 bam. Got a lot of knitting done because I've seen it before and I can just look up when I know the moments are coming. And I got a lot of knitting done, but now I've got nothing to watch. So suggestions are welcome. I enjoy fantasy, science fiction, and British murder mysteries. I watched a lot of them for TV. I don't like reading crime stories, but I enjoy watching them on TV. Especially if they're set in these like idyllic places and yeah, whatever. You know what I mean. The Scandinavian ones are a bit too dark sometimes. Although, stop it, Celia. But if you have any suggestions in those genres, I'll be very happy to check them out. As I've seen, I watched a lot, but there might be some I have missed. So instead of watching TV and knitting, I've been playing some video games actually. I have a PlayStation, and instead of watching the adventure, I've been having them. So I don't know if there's a lot of other knitter gamers out there, but yeah. So I have done a few rounds on load screens because the games take a while to load sometimes. As you can see, green is a thing. I knitted a lot in green, but this is how far that's left for me to complete the sleeve. I think I am nearly done with the increases. I only have half a pattern section left before I can cast off. I will just split like this, and I knit about 2 centimeters of plain, or I reverse, and I knit 2 centimeters of stockinette, so that when I mount this on my steeked armholes, this will cover that edge, that raw edge. That's so when the sleeve comes on the inside, instead of that cut edge or you having to use a ribbon, this will cover that the raw edge of the stick. So yeah, that's the Levenwik cardigan. It's a pattern by Marie Wallin that I've been knitting on for well over 2 years now. I'm close to the finish line, and if you want to check it out, it is a free pattern of hers. It's available on Ravelry and on Love Crafts if you're not using Ravelry. So that's it for Levenwik. Fingers crossed for next episode being a finished garments thing. I already brought you the mittens, so 1 is enough. Let's save 1 for the next time. Next on my list I see the Nighthawk Pullover. No, not the pullover. The Nighthawk Vest. So, as you might remember from nattering on a few episodes, I'm planning to knit a feral vest. I have not swatched anymore, but I have played with a bit of a colour combo. Ooh. Colour combo coming up. So I thought it could be cool for you guys to see what I mean when I mentioned a few episodes back that I like to preview color combinations on my computer. So I know some people they like to color in like a book to see what colors match, and that can give you an impression, yes. The real test of a color swatch is to actually knit it up in the yarn, so you're not going to get an accurate representation until you do that. But to save myself some frustration, I try to sketch out. So see if I can find that file. There you go, Nighthawk colorways. So I've got like Photoshop and all that on my computer because I use it for my work, and I have swatched, or not swatched, I don't know what you could call that. So I've done, I took because the pattern was also available electronically, meaning a PDF, I have swatched for it on my computer. So I've done this. This is like a little preview of my PSD file. And now these are 3 options that I would like to actually knit a sample for. So I am liking this green version. Oh, let's see if I can zoom in and just show you the green version. The green version here, or I'm thinking maybe I'll end up with the grey actually, and try to do like a very classic neutral feral vest. And if I want to explain, I was like, I really like this color combo, but I don't have enough yarn or whatever. The Nighthawk pattern is also published as a hat. So that's also for you if you wanna have that color work chart and apply it wherever you want. You can buy the hat pattern of Wilma Malcolmson's Ravelry store, I think, instead of having to, you know, spend £22 on this book, which is gorgeous, by the way. So I received this past week. It is the Shetland Wool Adventures Journal Volume 2. And yeah, it's very nice. It's a proper booklet. And I'm looking forward to digging in and reading a bit on this. So, oh, it smells of freshly printed paper and glue. So definitely this is inspiring me to seek out Shetland at some point. I mean, it has this kind of like walks. So you can find that if you're in Shetland or you're planning to go to Shetland, you can follow these trails and see these magnificent places and these beaches they've taken the photos of for yourself. I mean, that looks gorgeous. The weather looks similar as to what's outside my window right now. So I am under no illusions that going to Shetland is going to be like a lovely summer holiday. It's still the North Atlantic as it is here. And you will have to be willing to see the beauty in dramatic skies, as we would say here. And yeah, there's some really interesting... Oh, there is some recipes as well. Well, salmon, that's easily available. Nice. So totally want to try that. But of course in the back you have the pattern section, which is what they send to you on a PDF. And I thought I would bring up the Nighthawk slipover. Yeah, here it is. So that is the vest I am planning to knit. And so I told you I'm gonna do a neutral palette. So I just went and got basically like all the neutrals from Rauma Finull to serve as my swatching material. And I think my eventual goal is, at least for Finull, I want to have one ball available of each and every colorway. Swatching will be a breeze. So the reason for getting all of these is that I have a few options. I can do a grey gradient, or I could do a beige gradient, beigient. So that's why I got all these. I mean, I could start with the Natur, and then this is the light beige, and then a medium beige, or just beige probably. And then I have the greys, which are a little darker. Let's see if I can hold these. So I'm thinking that's for my background options. And let's see, on my... These are also colors that I thought could work. Whatever I don't use, I could use to work up the Rauma sleepover if I'm not happy with any of it. And I've gotten some options for this red and brown. So I don't think I needed so many contrast colors. Let's see if yeah, so I'll be swatching, and I think I will be swatching for this kind of grey one here. Hopefully that will be done for next time, and I can start filling that hashtag on Instagram, because it hasn't been taken yet. So if you're knitting something and you want to like participate in this cal I'm talking about, just feel free to use that hashtag, the Feral Best Cal, I think it was. Even if there's nothing on it yet, because I haven't like kicked it off on Instagram. But no worries, it's going to be running until end of September, which is when we'll all be wanting to wear warmer vests. But yeah, okay, that's it. I just want to show off my nice new balls of yarn. Yeah, and for the vests, you know, you don't have to find a vest pattern, because there's a lot less variety in options if you're looking specifically for a pattern that is a vest. But the feral motif can be taken from anywhere, from a hat to a jumper or a cardigan that, you know, it's too big of a commitment to start on the cardigan maybe. So just make it a vest. So anything goes. So just consider it a modification, because that motif can be placed on any surface. It's just, and put it on the shape you like. And Scandinavian patterns are cool too. I mean, it's still going to be a color work vest. Or should we be strictly Fair Isle motifs? What's your opinions on that? Because I'm for color work, no matter what shape it is in. It's just that very typical garment. So, question. Comment below if you have any opinions on it. Otherwise, I'll just make it up as I go along. Yeah. But I think that's it for today. Yes, that's it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. It is a pleasure to see that more people are finding the podcast. I think that's really great. And if you haven't done so already, just click subscribe, press that bell button, click like, all of those things that YouTubers always ask you to do, and they will keep on asking you to do them, because that's what YouTube tells you to do, basically. And I was thinking I will do it on this episode for sure, and maybe I'll backlog as well, to add chapters to the videos, so it will be easier to find specific bits of content within the video. And if you want to rewatch, if you want to skip ahead, all these things, I'll try to add the timestamps in the description below. And yeah, if you want to follow me on Instagram or friend me on Ravelry, my handle in both places is silmoi. And blog notes also, buyethreadblog.com if you prefer that. It usually looks slightly prettier than the notes below. You know, you get to have headlines and stuff. Yeah, thank you for watching. Hope to see you next time. Keep on crafting. Bye.